Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to the Department of English Government Postgraduate College Uttak. I am Nasir Ali Shah, Assistant Professor of English. Students, we have completed the textual study of the first chapter of your textbook, The Dying Sun, which is written by Sir James Jeans. I hope that you would have read the text thoroughly while listening to the lectures. Now, before moving on to the next chapter, it is important for us to read and note down some of the important questions of this chapter, which would be definitely very helpful to you in your preparation for exams. So, the first important question of the exercise of this chapter is, question number 1 is, how is it that a star seldom finds another star near it? Seldom means uncommon or any uncommon happening. Here the question is being asked that how is it an uncommon incident that a star does not come near to another star? And its answer is, a star seldom finds another star near it because there is a distance of millions of miles between the two stars. Students, as you know, we have read in this chapter that there is almost over a million miles of distance, minimum of over a million miles of distance between the two stars. So it is a very vast universe, and the distance between the stars is of millions of miles. Moreover, space is immensely vast. Immensely mean very large or huge thing. So the space is very immensely vast, and each star is bound to travel in its own orbit. Bound means it is forced to move or forced to travel in its own orbit. It means that the stars do not have their own choice to change their direction. It means that they are forced or they are bound to travel or to move in their specific orbits. That is why one point is that there is a distance of millions of miles between the two stars. That is why they do not come close to each other. And the other point is that they are bound in their own orbits. They cannot change their direction. So these are the two main reasons due to which the stars do not come close to each other. Next question is, what happened when, according to Sir James Jeans, a wandering star wandering through space came near the sun? This is a very important incident which is described in this chapter you have read. The writer says that about 2000 million years ago this event took place, which the writer calls a rare event. And the answer of this question is, when a wandering star came near the sun, it raised tides on the surface of the sun. Tides mean waves, very large and huge waves, or the rise and fall of the waves. It raised the tides on the surface of the sun. These tides formed a high mountain on the surface of the sun that we can hardly imagine. So these tides, which were created on the surface of the sun, they formed a huge mountain. Huge mean very large. Form mean to make up something, means they made up the shape of a very large and huge and high mountain on the surface of the sun that we can hardly imagine. Means they were so huge waves, so high in the shape of a mountain, that we cannot even imagine about them. We cannot even think about them. Imagine means think about. So this is the answer of this question. Question number 3 is, what happened when the wandering star came nearer and nearer. Nearer is the second degree of adjective. Near. Near mean close to something, and nearer mean much closer or very close. Answer. When the wandering star came nearer and nearer the sun, the mountain on the surface of the sun rose higher and higher and was finally torn into pieces. When that another star, which was even bigger than the sun, when it came nearer to the sun, due to its attraction or due to its gravitational pull, that mountain of gaseous matter which was created on the surface of the sun, it rose. It is the second form of rise. Rose means it went up and up, higher and higher, and was finally torn into pieces. Torn is the third form of tear. Tear means to break into pieces. Torn into pieces means it was broken into pieces. Question number 4 is, what are planets and how did they come into existence? The planets are the broken parts of the sun. This is the result of the incident which we have read, that has been discussed in the previous 2 questions as well. A huge and very large star came near to the sun. Due to its attraction or gravitational pull, it raised, it made up a huge mountain of gaseous matter on the surface of the sun, and when that star moved away from the sun, that mountain, which was a part of the sun, that was torn off the surface of the sun, and it was scattered and broken into pieces and started circulating around the sun in the space. So the answer of this question is, the planets are the broken parts of the sun. Means first they were the part of the sun, and as a result of this rare event, they were broken or torn off from the surface of the sun. They came into existence due to the tidal pull caused by some star on the surface of the sun. Question number 5. Why is there no life on the stars? This again you should have some idea that as we have read in the text, why is there no life on the stars? The writer has described or gave us details of this point. Here is the answer. There is no life on the stars because the stars are balls of fire. Balls of fire means they are extremely hot, as they are mostly they look like in the shape of ball or in a round or circular shape. That is why the writer calls them the balls of fire. Means they are extremely hot and it seems that they are burning with fire. So the writer says there is no life on the stars because the stars are balls of fire and they have intense heat. Intense means extreme, means they are extremely hot, they are very hot. Therefore, the stars are too hot for life to exist on them. Means their stars are so hot that no living being, neither a human being nor any other animal or plant or birds, no type of life can exist on the stars due to that extreme heat. Question number 6. Write a note on the beginning of life on the earth. When the earth gradually became cooler and cooler. Gradually means slowly, with the passage of time. As we know, the earth was at first, when it was created, it was extremely hot because formerly it was like the other planets, it was the part of the sun, and just like the sun, it was extremely hot. And gradually, with the passage of time, it became cooler and cooler. Cooler is the second degree of cool, which is an adjective. Cooler means more cool. Life started in very simple organisms. Organisms mean living beings or living bodies having parts dependent upon one another. So life started in very simple organisms which had ability to reproduce themselves before dying. Reproduce means increasing number of one's sort by having children or offsprings. So there were so little organisms or living beings which had only this ability that before dying they reproduced themselves, or in other words, they carried on increasing their generation. In the end, it produced the most complicated organisms. Complicated means very complex, having a lot of difficult and complex systems in it. So in the end, the most complicated organisms was produced, like man, who has feelings and ambitions. Question number 7. Why is the universe so frightening? Frightening means fearful. The writer has described 3 or 4 reasons in this chapter due to which the universe seems to us to be frightening, and here is the answer. The universe is so frightening because of immense stretches of time. Immense means very huge, very large. So this is the first reason. Because of immense stretches of time, extreme loneliness, and absence of life on other planets. These are the important points or reasons due to which the universe seems to us frightening. Question number 8. What should be the conditions necessary for the kind of life we know to exist on other heavenly bodies? Heavenly bodies mean all the planets and stars which are moving or circulating in the space. Do such conditions generally exist? Here, those important conditions are asked, which are important or necessary for life. So the question is, what are those conditions? And do such conditions exist generally? Means, do these conditions exist or they can be found everywhere in this universe, or only on the earth or some other planets? And the answer is, life can exist only in some suitable physical conditions like moderate temperature, air and water. So here are the basic important conditions for life. A moderate temperature is necessary, as well as air and water. Such conditions do not exist on other heavenly bodies except on the earth. Means, these conditions are not available or they do not exist on other planets and stars except on the earth. Therefore, there is no life on other heavenly bodies. Question number 9. How do the stars travel in the universe? The stars travel in the universe. Travel means they move or circulate. They travel or they move in the universe either in groups or mostly they travel alone. They travel at vast distance from one another. Vast means huge, very large. They travel at a very far away from one another. Question number 10. What are the temperature belts? The temperature belts are zones. Zones mean areas. These temperature belts are those areas or those zones that surround each hot star at a certain distance. The temperature there is neither too hot nor too cold. Life can exist on such temperature belts. Students, these are some of the important questions which you must note down in your notebooks and which you should be able to answer, and definitely these questions will be very helpful for you in the preparation of your examinations. In our next lecture, we shall start chapter number 2, its textual study with explanation and meanings. Till then, Allah Hafiz and goodbye.